Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video, free to play. And we're going to do a cool one today. So we're going to do a guide on how to build your nuker. So I finally, after a long, grueling 70 days of playing, got myself my sixth 6-star champion. I'm kind of pleased with the rate of 6 stars I'm getting right now. So, you know, one every 12 or so days feels good. Feels like the account is progressing at a nice rate. And as I say in my other videos, like my first rule is get another 6-star. The next rule is get them some masteries. And then the final thing is gear them in the right way. And honestly, this is going to be the first champion that I've got to 6-star who's actually going to become a specialist in my team. So far I've had Ninja, Geo, Deacon, Kale, and more recently Venomage. They've all been the all-rounder squad, yeah? They're going to do my clan boss hits, they're going to do dungeon running, and then a good chunk of them are going to come in for Doom Tower fights, they're going to come in for arena hits. And now, the fantastic thing about the champion I've just leveled, Magnar, is that he's going to be my specialist AOE nuker, which frees my Kale up to be a bit more of a tanky unit, to last longer in clan boss, to be able to deal with dragon easier, etc. So, just completely changes it up. And the cool thing about Magnar being my specialist is that I don't need an increased attack champion, which Kale kind of needs and doesn't have right now, to make him do his damage. That's one. And I also don't need, I also can run him in dungeon content, and he's going to be pretty tanky anyway, because his damage is borne by his survivability. So his health increases his damage. The only thing I don't have on Magnar is books, which would be, for the big nuke, 30% more damage, which is actually massive. Anything I'm going to hit on this video, we're going to times it by 1.3. So Magnar's going to come in as my specialist. I cannot ascend him yet because I have to wait until we get to the ascension missions. The more people you ascend early, the less chance you've got of squeezing through to that Arbiter. So Magnar's going to be my Spirit Ascension champion. And what's quite nice here is I'm kind of got a Magic one already, a Spirit one. We're going to pick out a Force one next, and then obviously I'll do a Void one after that. So my Magnar had some gear on already. It's actually not terrible gear. 98% crit rate, a bit of health, bit of speed. This was like him while he was leveling up. He was level 50, going into some 3v3 stuff. But now we're going to re-gear him to be a nuke, okay? In terms of masteries, I've already done the masteries to a certain amount. I've been farming them up. As I say, that's what I do. And we've gone for Helm Smasher for damage. We've gone crit rate into crit damage, into more damage when I've got full health. This is a really good set of masteries to go into for your arena nuker. I've got Ruthless Ambush to do more damage on my first hits. I've got this Cycle of Violence, which kind of leads me into my next set, but mainly that's there because I'm likely to hit people for more than a third of their health, so there's a good chance I'm going to get a cooldown on my nuke. The other good option would be bring it down, more damage here, but this will not be good for an HP-based nuker like Magnar because I'm going to have high health. For someone like a Kale, this would be a better one, but for Magnar, no. And then the most important one really is end on Helm Smasher. It's just going to give me more damage to my smacks. I've done support tree mainly for the ability to get the accuracy in the rest of his kits and a bit of Law of Steel and what have you, but the main thing is the offense tree to finish. So if you're farming masteries and you don't want to carry on, then getting to Helm Smasher was important. You see, I didn't fill in my other tier 5 mastery because I wanted Helm Smasher so that I knew that I could start to use him. So let me talk you through what we're going to do. Now, first I'm going to show you my Kale build. This build was literally week 1 Kale. I've not changed it. Not changed it at all. And what did I want? I wanted crit rate on the gloves. This is like the early game version of a nuker. Crit rate on your gloves. The main stat that does your damage as your chest main stat. So for Kale, it's attack. For Magnar, it would be HP %. And then on the same piece, you want to get crit rate. Okay, because you want to be capping your crit rate as early as you can. On your boots, you're more than likely to need speed and crit rate on this sort of level of account. On my main account, I would actually probably push for the main stat that does damage. Yeah, so like attack % on a Kale would go on my boots as well, but I'd find my speed in my gear rather than relying on speed on the boots. But for most people watching this, You're going to want speed on your boots, but finding crit rate as well. And then really for the rest of the gear, you're looking for any stats that are going to push your main damage. So crit rate, crit damage. So you see here, this build has kind of been my arena nuker for a while. 2.7k attack, 92% crit rate. For Kale, that's actually capped. He only needs 85 for his A2 nuke. And then as much crit damage as I could whilst getting his accuracy to be the all-rounder. But for Magnar, cool thing is I can just go focus 100% crit rate, as much crit damage as I can, as much health as I can, some speed in there to keep him moving, and maybe a bit of accuracy as well. Albeit knowing that when I ascend him, I can get an accuracy banner on him for like future down the road content. So what I've been doing to prep for this video is anything which I've got which has crit rate and crit damage substats together, which I think would be a good piece for me. So for someone like a Magnar, I'm looking for HP % on his chest rather than anything else. But other pieces like this helm, let's move me out of the way so you can see again. Pieces like this helm, I've rolled up to level 8 first to see if it rolled some good rolls. And then if it did, I rolled it up to 12. They should be gone. And I've done it kind of with a few other pieces. Like this one here, I noticed I've got a good crit rate roll here. This one here, we've got speed and crit rate together. This one, I looked for it, didn't find it, so I stopped rolling. Yeah. Cruel pieces, crit rate, HP, and crit damage. So I've basically got myself the grounding of some pieces. Okay, that's in the kind of main stats. I got this HP chest with crit rate and crit damage. So I kind of know a little bit in my head where the gear's going to come from. Do the same thing. You kind of pick speed as your main stat on your boots, and then you're looking for crit rate there. And I think I rolled up, like these speed boots here, had HP and crit rate. I could roll a couple more, to be honest. I could roll this. I could roll this. Yeah, to see if I don't find the sort of stats that I want. And then on the gloves, now that I'm past that kind of initial, I want crit rate on the gloves, I really want crit damage on my gloves. So crit damage main stat with crit rate substat. I knew that I'd already rolled this one up, and this is almost definitely going to be the one that we use. A max crit damage set of gloves with a crit rate roll with some speed on it. Unfortunately, I rolled double defense. This could have been literally the best set of gloves ever. If that had rolled like triple crit rate, they would be insane gloves for any account, let alone a baby account like this. And, you know, you can see there's kind of options here as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it into the optimizer so that you can see how that works. But actually, you could just do what I've just done. So you could look for those same kind of synergies of, you know, crit damage with crit rate rolls, whatever your main stat is here on your chest, speed on your boots, and then you try and find the rest of the crit rates in the rest of your gear. That's exactly what you do. Just throw it into the optimizer. Now, for most people that are gearing not using the optimizer, what you would be looking to do is, unless you know you've got good Savage gear, you go stats over sets, okay? What the optimizer does, which is freaking like insane, is it already understands stats over sets versus Savage gear or versus Cruel gear, and it will say to you, you know what, with your Savage gear, either it's the best or it's not. That's it. It just knows. It's got the damage multipliers pumped into it already. So with the build that I've already got, which I showed you on my Magnar, which was not a terrible build. It's a relentless set. 37k HP, basically crit capped with some crit damage in there. The optimizer knows that my skills, my A2 is going to hit for 12,444. Okay? That's the kind of base level of damage. You can see it here in this skills tab if you've got the premium upgrade, but if you haven't, take my word for it. So what we're going to do is optimize. Let me just reset this so you see it from scratch. If you use a GPU accelerated optimizer, then your GPU will help you do the optimization. It will also allow you to do this highest damage build. Okay, it's default highest score. Highest score is if you want to find like your best speed champion or your best accuracy champion. But this is for highest damage. I'm going to set a minimum speed of 170 speed. I want a minimum crit rate of 100. And then I just want it to find me the highest damage build. You can put in here a target enemy defense. So for the arena at my level, 2,000 is probably about the target. There might be some people that I face with 3,000. But honestly, I'm putting decreased defense on everyone before anyway with my Deacon. So if anything, it's probably less than that. It's probably more likely to be about 1,800. as an average defense. And then I just hit optimize. I can, in the filter section, say what level of gear I want as a minimum. So I could actually tell the optimizer to look for stuff that's only rolled to 4, stuff that's rolled up to 8. And most of the things that I've prepped are rolled up to level 8. I can also tell it to either look for equipped artifacts or not. I'm going to do that first just to see what the build pops up. But honestly, I don't really want to steal from some of my other champs. So we might end up locking those and then coming back in again. Okay. Let's see how it kind of acts here. So you know what it's going to do. It's going to be looking for high HP, high crit damage, and 100% crit rate. And you can see it in all of these builds, 100% minimum crit rate, all over 40,000 health, and all over 150% crit damage. So in the olden days, going back 6 months, we probably would have just pushed for as much crit damage as we could. But there's actually a good blend between your main damage stat and crit damage, which is done by fancy formula, which actually gives you an even build. So you see here this 184 crit damage. Your eyes kind of hone in on it thinking that's going to be the one. Actually, if we equip this set of gear, you see on the green numbers on my skills tab over this side, I would increase my damage by about 9,600 per hit. Whereas the top one, we increase by 10,000 per hit. So there's not a lot in it, but the top one is the best build. It's pulled out those fancy gloves, which we talked about. It's pulled out that chest, which we looked at. We've got a nice pair of boots with the crit rate on. We've got the piece that Magnar's already wearing with crit rate and HP. HP, crit rate, and speed here from hoarding. And then there's just one piece that I'd have to take from a currently built champion, which is my Kale piece, which I'm actually comfortable to do. So this looks like a quality build without kind of upsetting all of my current champion builds. I am going to pay the silver, have to pay the silver to move things from one champion to another. And it's also worth saying at this point, this build is assuming I'm going to roll all of these pieces up to level 16. It's not assuming what the substats will be, but it is thinking that this level 12 chest has already been rolled to 16 and you've got the maximum benefit from that HP. It's assuming this ring is already rolled up to level 16 and it's assuming the maximum benefit from the ring. But this looks like a solid build. So if I press equip here, it's not equipping it in the game. I have to go into the game now and actually physically equip those pieces, which we're going to do. So let's do it. Now, you were probably wondering, like, why didn't it find me any good jewelry? It didn't find any amulet at all. It's because I haven't rolled any of my amulets up to level 8, and I was asking the optimizer to find me stuff level 8 or more. So we hopefully, have we got any? Yes, crit damage amulet. I'd love for it to have accuracy on it. Oh, this is a beaut. This is an absolute beaut right here. Crit damage with accuracy on it and HP on it as well. So this is exactly the piece I would want to equip. And then on the ring, for someone who does damage based on HP, we're going to want to find HP as the main stat. The only one we've got is the one he's wearing. So it's actually a crap ring for him, honestly. I'm not even going to take it past level 8 because I want to find HP with HP percent on it. If we were building someone like a Kale, we'd be looking for attack with attack percent on it. Yeah, so whatever their main stat of damage is, that's the main stat. And then you want it in a substat as well. And ideally, you want to roll it for the substat. So this is just like a filler until we get better pieces. But let's just roll this one up to level 12 for now. And let's see what the final build looks like. Okay, so I'm going to wait until the fusion next week before I roll anything past level 12. Because that's going to use a lot of my silver up. And I've already used too much, to be honest. But you can see here now we've got crit damage gloves, HP percent chest, speed boots. Yeah, the optimizer's done what I would have done anyway. It's just done it more efficiently than me. Crit rate and speed and HP here. Crit rate, speed and HP here. Crit rate, speed and HP here. It's like clockwork. Crit damage here with HP and accuracy for my build. But the accuracy, honestly, isn't doing anything right now. And then we've got HP here. So final stats are 40,000 health, which will increase by about 6,000 or 7,000 once we level everything up. 172 speed. 100% crit rate, 193 crit damage with that amulet added into the mix. This guy's ready to blow stuff up. And cool thing about Magnar is he doesn't need the increased attack champion to come in and help him out. So let's see if we can actually win a speed race. Kale, you're gone. I'm just going to change my team setup here. I do have Ninja set up to do his freeze second. So we basically go speed lead with my fastest gear, 260 speed, into Deacon drop in defense. He's at 199 speed. He could do it being a bit faster. Sometimes he gets cut at the moment. Ninja at 180 speed, who's going to do his freeze first, so that in case my nuker is too slow, he at least kind of halts everyone in their tracks. And then Magnar now coming in. I'm sure he will do this anyways, his opener, but we're going to do his opener as the nuke. And then this becomes my arena setup. This is also set up the same way for my arena defense. Let's see what happens. So Mikhail before wasn't nuking everyone dead. That was my main kind of risk. Albeit, this is quite a squishy team. 20... So we're hitting for 40k with that build. And that's an incomplete build. Which is going to help me grind through this farm so much easier. This is going to be harder. So we've got tanky units here, especially in Rector. Slow it down. 20, about 40k again. Rector is going to pick someone up, probably. Yeah. Have a seat. Have a rest. Why are you attacking the dude that's... Why are we doing that, guys? Why would you? Why would you do that? Oh, they're all hidden. Okay, fair enough. That's a youch. That's a youch. You don't win them all at this level. Rector actually built really well there. Let's keep it going. You just got to wipe your brow and move on. Going to throw up increased defense here from his Seeker. Actually, we got a weak hit, which kind of did us a favor. Pounding. Everyone but Seeker getting a nuke. And when you're 4v1, you got no problem at all. Ooh. So this is a cool thing. It means I can totally free up my Kale now to be built like for Clan Boss. And a Clan Boss build means I can just make him way tankier and easier to keep alive. Actually getting good damage out of my Ninja as well. The only thing which is a nuisance about Magnar at this sort of level of account is that his affinity is weak against a lot of champions that we see in the arena. So we see a lot of magic-based affinity champions, and he is the weak affinity to that. But to a lot of the tanks that we see out there on defense, he does the work. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that's useful to you as you're coming up, building through your nukers. And yeah, let's let Magnar rock on up in Hell Hades. I will catch you later.